What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and today, to end off this little international break, we have a fun little episode that we're going to do for you guys. It's an episode that I've wanted to do for a long time, just because, I'm pretty familiar with the Canadian men's national team, but a lot of people probably over the world, and even some in Canada probably aren't, just given the fact that a lot of our players are spread across the world. So I'm going to come up with my best 11, my best starting 11 for the Canadian men's national team, and I want to see if you guys agree with me, because there's a lot of different options. We've seen the pretty much emergence of some of the teams in the CONCACAF, Canada being one of them. They're recruiting well, they're developing some of the younger players, and it's actually incredible seeing what this team actually looks like if we put our total best 11 together. So without further ado, let's just kind of get right into it. So the way I was looking at it, I was debating which formation I wanted to go with until John Herdman basically gave me an idea. He decided to go with the 4-4-2 to really utilize Alphonso Davies, letting him have a little bit of action going forward, as well as being able to track back when we need him. He looked absolutely fantastic there, so that is the formation I'm going to go, and I think it really helps gel some of these players together. So for my best 11 for this Canadian men's national team, I am going to go with a 4-4-2. In goal, we have Milan Borjan. He is a Red Star Belgrade international. He's been playing over there for a long time now. He's been representing Canada, just got his 50th cap, and maybe by the time this video comes out, he'll be at 51. And yeah, there's not a huge debate there. There are some younger talent. I do say keep an eye on young Dane St. Clair. I think he'll be one for the future, but for right now, Borjan is the one to go, and he will be between the sticks. On a right back position is an interesting one. You got young Buchanan, you have Alistair Johnston, but for me, looking at the performance he did against Bermuda, seeing what he can do with TFC, Richie Larea is 100% the right back I'm going to go with. He was all over the pitch in that Bermuda game. He plays week in, week out at TFC, and he's a fantastic right back. But there is some competition there, and he needs to be very careful. And needs to be make sure each and every time he steps on the pitch, he puts everything he needs to for the Canucks here, for the right back position. But he, for me, is, especially after that Bermuda game, a lock. As our two center backs, I was very curious of how I wanted to structure this team, and I kind of wanted to do it around the center backs because I wasn't sure exactly which ones I wanted on the pitch. If I wanted that 3-back formation, if I only wanted the 2, who would work well together? The one obvious one is Steven Vittoria. He's been fantastic in Liga NOS right now. He's by far probably the most experienced and really well-traveled player we have at the back line, and he's going to be the leader back there on the right center back position. Alongside him, I have Vancouver Whitecaps Derek Cornelius. I think he'll do very well on that left-hand side. He sometimes is able to play in the back 3 over on the left-hand side, given the fact that he shoots left-footed. And I think they'll be a good little duo. We got a young Derek Cornelius who's got some leadership. We've seen him obviously captain the U23 team trying to qualify for the Olympics. And then, of course, Vittoria's got the experience. I think they'll be a good duo together, and makes me a lot more comfortable looking at those two as the heart of our center backs as some of the options we've had over the past few years. Left back, we have Sam Adekubi, and he is a fantastic player. He's doing it in Europe as well. He's a good option to have at the left back, which gives Alphonso Davies opportunity to go forward. He's done some good things. He looked very strong in our qualifying for the World Cup, and I feel very happy having him in the left back position, and he's going to be there for arguably probably the next almost 5, 6, 7 years, and that's great to see. Moving into the midfield, on the right-hand side, we have Junior Hoylette. Junior Hoylette has done it in England for a long time now. I remember years ago when he decided to represent Canada, how excited I was because we just didn't have a lot of talent playing around Europe. He was someone I was familiar with. He's rocking our number 10 right now, and I think he does pretty well on that left-hand side. He's good on both feet. He's good at crossing the ball, good at shooting, and really, given where the other positions are, that's really the only spot that's available for him right now. But he does do it very well, and I'm happy to see him on the right-hand side. And this is where our vets come in. We got a very young-looking squad for the Canadian men's national team. But we've got 2 veteran players who will do it. There's a lot of competition coming up, and you guys can maybe argue with me if you want. I mean, there are, and I can definitely take some of the arguments. But looking at how young this team can be, I think it's going to be important having these 2 key players. Both are pretty much our captains / vice captains. And one of them is being Scott Arnfield. He obviously had a fantastic season with the Rangers, winning them the championship there. He's a huge leader. 32 years old of age, and I can't say enough good things about him. He's got some younger players that are coming on his heels, but for me, he's still going to be in the best starting 11. Alongside him is long-serving 37-year-old Atiba Hutchinson. Hutchinson has been fantastic for Besiktas. He's been fantastic since he made the move there in 2013. And those two are 2 fantastic midfielders that you're going to want, especially playing in a 4-4-2. Both have, especially Hutchinson, defensive awareness to their game, can also do some stuff going forward, breaking up the play. And those are a good little duo to have as our center midfielders. which then leaves our star player out on the left-hand side. And like I said, having a 4-4-2 out of the left-hand position gives Davies the opportunity to track back when need be, but gives him also that explosive energy to go forward. And he saw already in his first game of back in 2021 having a hat-trick of assists. He looked fantastic. He will be playing on the left-hand side. Very good crosser of the ball. He's been doing that as a left back. He now gets to do a little bit more playing as a left midfielder for us. And everything's going to go through him. That left-hand side, it's going to be just something special for that Canadian team for the foreseeable future, because that's exactly where Alphonso is going to be, which leaves two strikers up front. And we have Kyle Larin from Besiktas as well, with his teammate Atiba Hutchinson. He's in the form of his life, absolutely form of his life. He's killing it in the Turkish league, and it's shown. When they played that first game against Bermuda, he's the man on form. He's the man who put up a hat-trick, and you can tell he's doing it for a top European club week in, week out, which is why he absolutely has to be one of our starting strikers. They play in a 4-1-4-1 formation, and Kyle Larin either plays out on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, but he really got developed as a striker. So playing in a two-man striker system I think would work very well for him. He can drift out when need be and match up with none other than Jonathan David. The little striker had a tough time in Liga. He honestly did. I was a little bit worried. He did not score for, I believe, the opening almost 10 games or so, and he looked like he was going to really struggle there. He found his feet. He's got 9 goals now in the league, and he looks much, much better. And he also plays in a 4-4-2 formation alongside another striker. So I think playing this formation with an informed Kyle Larin as well as Jonathan David would be a beautiful little mix-up between players right there. But that's absolutely fantastic taking a look at this starting 11. And I don't know if a lot of even Canadians or people worldwide quite know what a best 11 looking squad would look like for the Canadian men's national team. This is mine. This is Josh's from JJD TVs. You guys can let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. But for a while there, it's been crazy to see what our best 11 would look like. Given back for me when I started following our national team way back 10 or so years ago, even more than that, there was not this much European talent. If you're looking at the starting 11, it's crazy to actually realize it, but in my best 11, 9 of the 11 players play in Europe. And I think that's absolutely fantastic, seeing some of this Canadian talent play pretty much abroad, all over the place. The only 2 players that are playing for an MLS club is Richie Larea and Derek Cornelius, who are 2 fantastic players in their own right, playing in the MLS and could arguably play in Europe if they wanted to. But for a long time, I don't think you'd ever imagine that the Canadian men's national team would have this much talent playing abroad, and it's fantastic to see. So I hope you guys like this little episode before we end the little international break here. And I was really excited. I was really excited to make this because I didn't even know what my best 11 would be. John Herdman definitely helped me out after kind of watching how the team would play, to know that the 4-4-2 is probably the right formation to go with, and the personnel fits perfectly. So if you guys have any other suggestions of players that you think should be in the best 11, feel free to comment. And also, if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe. We're going to have some fun Canadian men's national team content added to the channel. I'm very happy and excited to do that, given the fact that I am Canadian. Parents were born here, I was born here, and I just think it's cool seeing the growth of pretty much Canadian men's national team. And I hope you guys did enjoy this. So if you are new around here, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you next time.